result
See it
oriented.
then.
What is the game or games that you felt you have done the very best in terms of how you want to go about things, how you want to play, and why?
Games, even that we've dropped points, I just felt for me the consistency over 90 minutes hasn't been that we've and that's a big part of it. I think that we've had, really good games, really good moments. I can even tell you the game that we played in Miami. I think that we were in the front foot the second half. We scored the goal, and then we just, we make this mental errors and mistakes that really that kind of hurt us. I think more than anything for me, I look at just the consistency, and a big part of that. And look, I'm not going to use, it's not. I don't even want to say it, but I think that for 20 games we played without a normal wing back, left back, and I think we had to move pieces around in order to make best of that. But you put guys in positions where they're not most comfortable. So I'm just happy we have everyone back. I think I'm looking for more consistency over 90 minutes. I think we have really good moments in games, but we need to be more consistent. And hopefully now that we have the guys healthy, we can, we can finish strong. And which that consistency hasn't been there. We've kind of been a little bit up and down. We've had good moments, even in games that we've lost, but I don't want to pick any certain games. But I think for me overall, the one word is consistency, and this has to be here now. This consistent, whether it's guys playing together, lineups, being consistent and the same without the injuries. And one or two players will always, going to be question marks depending, how we approach the game, depending how informed they are, how they've been training. But I think that consistency will come now that we have, I believe, almost a full team back.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Next, we will go to Alex Campbell from CHGO.
Hey Frank, how are you? Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Alex. I'm good, man.
I first want to ask a little bit more about Ari Lassiter. I know you touched on this a bit in terms of with kind of a obviously there wasn't a lot of time to get that deal done once the roster spot was open. In addition to his positional versatility, why was Ari? Why was he the guy that you felt was the best fit to come in and be that guy in that final roster spot?
No, I mean, we looked at options within the league. It's not just one. I mean, that we've had an issue on the left side with Goodman, being out, and also with Chase Gasper and stuff like that. So we tried different options in the league, and even with Ariel, they were not available at that time. And this came, it's not just only one option that we have. But I mean, when you look at him, Montreal plays in a 3-4-3. He can play as a wing back on either side. Obviously he's got a really good ability. He's got pace. He can get behind. You can put him on the right side, but then he's an inverted guy that likes to come inside. If you have a fullback or wing back that can then, get forward, up and down, depending what you have. But I think he's an experienced player. He knows the league. He fits in the system if we play with a back three, with wing backs, or even in a back four as a winger. So for me, I know people that worked with him. He's a guy that takes care of himself. He's a super good guy in the locker room. So it just clicked all the boxes. But we've tried different options within the league, and I mean, we wanted to make sure that we had the right guy. And sometimes when you put a list of guys that you want, teams are not going to let them go. So this was a little bit, seriously for me, as a little bit of a surprise, because he's a guy that, if you looked at, he's played almost every game in Montreal, and they're also in the spot where they're fighting to make the playoffs. So when the opportunity came, we took advantage of that.
And then kind of building on that, you mentioned when you were answering Glenn's question about, how without not having that left back position filled really affected the way you've wanted to play. How would you describe, how Andrew was recovered from this second injury? How would you describe where he's at right now and what you're looking forward to him?
Yeah, Alex, this break gave us a really good time, because you remember we played in the Leagues Cup, and I put him, I try to give him some minutes, but realistically, his lack of training with the team, that really scared me a little bit, to put him now in this game situation where he's sprinting. He played a little bit in Kansas City and a little bit with Toluca. But now we've had over 2.5 weeks where he's training every day, sprinting and stuff like that. So he just needs the games now. I think with the games, and the sharpness is going to come, but it's different. You have a left-footed player. When he receives the ball, His body shape is open. He gets forward. He can play the ball down the channels. He's good at getting forward. His ability to cross the ball. It's just a different dynamic. You know, we played at times with Alan Arrigoni there. It's not the same. He wants to cut inside on his right foot. Sometimes it's a little bit more predictable for teams. We played other guys there, also Johnny Dean, but it's not their strong side. So sometimes it's hard to really evaluate and judge players in games when you put them out in positions where they're not most comfortable. The guys gave everything, but it's different when we have now at least two. We have Goodman, Ariel can play there, Lassiter. So and a good surprise was when even in the Leagues Cup when we were able to play some of our younger guys that were able to step in and perform well.
All right, thanks, Frank. Appreciate it. Safe travels and good luck on Saturday.
Sounds good, Alex. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go last question to Omar Ramos from Univision Radio.
Hi, Coach. This is Omar from the Spanish broadcast for the Chicago Fire. I'm excited about the next 9 games.
Hey, great, Omar. How are you, man?
I'm great. Thank God, man. It's a sunny day in Chicago. It's a beautiful day. Hey, a lot of the great questions have been asked already. So I just want to end up with this. For the second straight year, the Leagues Cup is going to finish with a champ from the MLS. In your point of view, what does that say about the league as far as this tournament is concerned?
I mean, you see it yourself. I mean, it's really good games. I think that the teams have all stepped in. I mean, we take the tournament really serious. I mean, even for us, I think last year we had a really good run. This year I think that consistency again. We played a really good team. We played Kansas City away, then Toluca, obviously, and I think we had moments in the games where we played really well. But I think you can see the strength of the league. Constantly improving the quality of players that are coming in, the level of play, and it's great when you play outside in tournaments like this, really to test yourself against some the top Mexican teams. So it just shows you how far the league has come. We have a long way to go, but it's incredible nowadays when and it's clear to say you see all 4 teams are MLS teams in the final. It speaks for itself where the league and the level of play has come in a really short time.
Awesome. And I also want to ask you this. Is Ariel Lassiter fluent with Spanish? I'm just wondering.
Yes, he is.
All right. Excellent. Muchas gracias. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. Gracias, guys. Thank you. Take care. Good to hear everyone. And hope to see you at our matches.
Thank you, Coach. And thank you for everyone. With us today. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
There are quite a few hands raised and people on, so we'll go right ahead and get started with Joe Chats from On Tap Sportsnet.
Thanks, E. Thanks, Hugo. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Great, great. Thank you so much for the time, as always. Curious, 9 matches to go. You just had a little bit of a break yourself. I'm curious how that's helped you recharge. I know Frank talked about that being something that was discussed before you signed here, and how you think this team can improve in this final 9-game stretch as they want to make a playoff run.
Yeah, like you said, personally, I needed this little time off and a couple of weeks that I approach as a small preseason, because I think we cannot forget that I had been going since June 23, so it's been more than 14 months already, and now I feel recharged. I feel in training. I feel more energized, and I hope I can take that energy into the games coming up. And like you said, 9 games to go. We approach them as 9 finals, but there is no need to look too far ahead and just take game by game, and see where we're at after every game.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go with Max Sanchez from Men in Red 97.
Hello, Hugo. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I just wanted to ask, I mean, the team's come a little short of expectations throughout the season, but you've been on a really good run scoring goals and contributing assists. Where's your head at for these last 9 games?
My head is getting the team to the playoffs. I think that's something that the club talks about for almost 6 years, I think, and it's time we reach them. Like you said, we have been underperforming. We expected more ourselves, but it's still in our hands. So everybody has their heads in the same direction, and we gotta give everything to reach it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will go to Jim Alexander from Real Talker.
Hey Hugo, good to see you.
Hi.
You've been here. Obviously, you mentioned you've been playing a long time now, going back to 23. Now with 9 games left, what do you feel has been the biggest challenge so far this year, this season? Being in a new league with a new team, and how have you kind of overcome or adjusted to it to this point, from when the season started to where you're at now? Whether mentality or just adjustment personally to the country and city and club.
The adjustments for the country and the city have been great. My family and I settled in really well, so it's a great city to live in. On the field, like I said, I expected more from myself. The team expected more from us. But again, like I said, we have been underperforming a little bit, but still in our hands. We were conscious of that, and the work has been done this last couple of weeks to start the best we can this weekend against New York.
All right, go get him Saturday.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Alex Calabrese, Men in Red 97.
Hey Hugo, nice to speak with you today. I'm curious about the game against NYCFC this weekend. Obviously, it's in a baseball stadium at historic Yankee Stadium. So I'm curious what your expectations are for that, smaller field, and playing in a new kind of environment there.
It's not gonna be in the Yankees stadium. Actually, it's in the other one. I heard.
Did they move it? Wow. Well,
Citi
I have to change my plans then. Okay.
But I mean, yeah, everybody talks about playing in a baseball stadium, but in the end, you cannot lose your energy and focus too much on that. The pitch is gonna be the same rules, so it's up to us. And if it doesn't go away, it won't be because of the stadium or the environment we're playing in.
Awesome. Thank you. See you there.
Okay, next we will go to Alex Campbell from CHGO.
Hey Hugo, thanks so much for taking the time today. You mentioned, the importance of the break you've had with, kind of giving yourself a mini preseason. Obviously, though, as a striker, you want scoring goals to be a habit. How do you try to stay sharp and be able to pick up where you left off on the field, despite having taken the time off to recharge and rest a bit? How do you kind of pick the scoring mentality right back up?
I mean, the scoring mentality is not something that's gonna leave me by taking couple days off, and it's been a month since I've played, but it's not 1 month off. It's 1 month training with a team, sharpening everything in training and getting the reps in. So it's a different kind of rest than when you're playing every 3 days or week in and week out. But I feel, like I said, I feel energized and ready to go on Saturday.
Thanks. Good luck and safe travels this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joe, I see your hand is still up. Do you have another question for Hugo?
Yes, I always have to ask Hugo about who he's connecting with his social media in soccer life. I saw you mentioned former Scottish striker Alan Russell is someone who you kind of talk about referencing when you're practicing your striking. I'm curious where that relationship came from, if it's something that's strictly online, just kind of working that way, and what you've learned from him or hope to learn from him.
He is attached to the team, so it's extra training that I get in here within the
Yep.
environment, and he has experience with a lot of strikers that played at a high level. So
Yep.
he always has the right comments and the right feedbacks on my habits and adapting to my profile as a striker. So it's always good to get that external view of things on my game.
Awesome. Thank you for indulging me. Safe travels this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hugo. That is it for today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Bye,
And enjoy
everyone.
the rest of your day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, E.